Everybody's been saying my live feeds have been kind of choppy. Choppy. So we'll get some people in here and we'll talk about a few things. I'm assuming if you're watching a replay, then just fast forward through all this crap, because it takes a minute for everybody to come in, and then I'm not saying anything important. Well, I never say anything important, but you know, less importanter, right? I felt inspired today because of my surroundings. So let's do some reading here. Next Gen is third, even though he's first. Slow Ride Trucking, Southbound J, Daniel Adami, Michael N. Don is first. Southbound J, old, fat, white guy. Well, that narrows it down, doesn't it? I'm going to call you OFWG for short. Spooby, what's up? I'm sitting here just sipping on my afternoon coffee. And I am literally, as you can see behind me, I'm literally a rock's throw from my customer. So, Big Rich, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you, Big Rich. You guys want to see, well, no, I better not. Yeah, I'll show you something. Here. That's the nice field. I picked the spot right there. Now this is a truck stop. Look how much space is here. Nothing but CR England and Schneider trucks. Kind of nice. Kind of nice. And that's what the title talks about. The title talks about the little moments. Because, you know, there's been a lot of talk about how crappy OTR can be. Over the road, big rig, CDL, 18-wheeler trucking. And it's almost like everybody forgot that it's a lifestyle, not a job. And I just had dinner too. And I've done videos about trucking is what you make of it. And I think that, you know, it's Friday night. Would I rather be home? Yeah. But I kind of look at this though. Friday night, my wife would be working. My son would be holed up in his bedroom. My daughter's probably having a sleepover at one of her friend's house. And, you know, it's, so I'm not really missing a whole lot. And I think that's one of the adjustments a person has to make about when you become OTR. Sometimes you feel like a stranger in your own home. And that's tough to deal with. You know, when I was a trainer, that was my specialty. I mean, anybody can teach anybody how to drive, and I taught my students courtesy, common sense, and how to deal with the different dynamics that would change at home, especially if you're a father or mother of young children, right? String up all the moments together and you end up with the life. Ratman Roden is 110% correct on that. It's what it is. You know, it's like the 9 to 5 thing. The only thing that I haven't done is the 9 to 5 in a cubicle, because I possess absolutely no skills that would require a cubicle. I can't even type. I'm a two finger guy, right? And even though I had a full year of typing class, and I got a C. Now, meanwhile, my kids are like typing faster with their thumbs than I do, like in general, right? I have no computer skills. I had a friend send me an Excel spreadsheet that I have absolutely no clue how to run. So I've never been in that world, you know. Let's see here. I still love it after 20 years deep. Yeah, somebody asked me where Smoothie. I'm in Missouri. I'm in Central Missouri. Thomas Wilson, hello. Adam Gallagher, Scott Star Logistics. Did you make it home, Scott? I can't remember if you were going home today or tomorrow. I've met a lot of people out here, and a lot of it's because of this YouTube thingamajigger. The cell phone has been one of the best inventions for truck driving. Unlimited everything has been one of the best inventions. I don't know how well I would have done 30 years ago in the trucking world. Pale Rider TV. Deliver in the morning, then home, load waiting for me on Monday morning. I'm trying to set that up. I had to kind of scramble to get the load I got picking up Sunday. I deliver tomorrow. And it was weird. The beginning of this week, man, it was like name your price. Especially in the short game. Then somebody somewhere flipped the switch, and you can't even get the national average on short haul stuff, at least around the Kansas City area. Big Rig Radio Network, what's happening? I was talking to Jeff earlier today. That big beard, I'm still working on mine. The whole, but you said in Zello that you didn't want to look homeless. And I was telling the advantages of looking homeless, right? You got a bid on one for Monday? Kansas City, Missouri. Oh, come on. I'm picking up some tacos shortly and then delivering them to my later. Rick Jones. Sorry you were late. Better late than never, right? GNC Family Trucking. I didn't see you sneak in here. Slow Ride Trucking says the internet rocks. That is absolutely true. You have to comb it and whatnot. I found this new beard oil. It actually smells pretty good. And it makes it soft. Big Billy, I'm okay, man. I'm okay. Ralph Floto, what's up? So I'm just kind of enjoying this breeze. It's like 55, 60 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky. Hardly any wind. It's been a good day of trucking. Got loaded in an hour and a half. 27,000 pounds. So I haven't been able to test out my right way on the front yet. But I'll show you guys that. And I'll talk about Jeff's bidding. Alright. So this is what it looks like. I got the cord in the way. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see that. So right there, according to that, I'm at 20,000 or 32,000 on the drives. I don't think that's accurate because I have yet to calibrate it. Sunday, we will have an opportunity to calibrate it. Trucking, we have That's Trucking, hashtag That's Trucking, and then we have Pale Rider TV, and then I started a channel because I'm narcissistic like that, and it's just titled Snorlord, all caps. And right now, there's no restrictions, so. But I only did that because I know there's a couple people in a couple of channels that don't want me around. So. I've got haters too, people. I've got haters too. $608. I bid 800. Man, I did a click and go bid, and I could not get them up to save my life. And it's kind of interesting because they had the low at $651.73 or something like that, right? And of course, you know, 900. Picking up on a Sunday, right? And that worked not too long ago. And denied. They went down. They went lower than the original book it now price. So I'm like, all right, we're playing this game. Obviously, if you bid too high, it goes lower than the original book it now, right? Analytics and all. Algorithms. And so I put in 750. Denied. I ended up taking it for the original price. Once they went back up to the original price. So, oh well, still a good rate. It keeps me busy all weekend with hardly any miles. And I still got my daily rate, so we're good. Sorry, I had to do something. LOL, don't kid yourself. So many years of driving, what else are you going to do? Not being negative, just being real. OFWG, that is true, man. There's a lot of people that don't know what they would do if they couldn't drive a truck. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that if they don't take care of their health and they lose their CDL, what are they going to do? And I have other skills. I'm a great cook. I'm a good welder. One of these days I'm going to have to go in the right hand shop and show them some of my welding skills. But I got tired of the manufacturing industry because budget cuts, or, you know, you're doing the work of 8 people because they want to have a skeleton crew because of lean manufacturing, that whole kind of thing. I've got auto body experience. Even though they don't really do auto body repair, they just do auto body replacement now. I could paint. Auto body paint. I could do that. But I wasn't happy doing those things. I always go back to being a school bus driver, but it just doesn't pay anything. And if you think you truck drivers have a thankless job, try being a school bus driver. But you bring up a valid point. There's a lot of people that feel like they're trapped out here, like they can't do anything else. I know that when Dad left the industry, he went to go work for Lowe's, and he did okay, but then he worked his way up pretty fast to be a forklift operator, and then next thing you know, he was the main forklift guy. So I think I would probably want to do something in the shipping, receiving, or a dispatcher, you know, or maybe work for a brokerage. That'd be the only cubicle job I can think of is dispatcher or something like that. I put in the comments and said, Snorlord said, give me the rate. There you go. Well, Jeff brings up a good point. So, Joe Stan, what's up? I've been more patient in negotiating. Rican Trucker, what's up? And it's got me a better rate per mile, although I did lose a day this week because my original low got canceled or pushed back. But I think that if you're doing self-dispatch on the spot market, you got to have a little bit of patience. You can't be freaking out. And, Jeff makes money in other avenues, right? So he's got time. He's got time to really bid and find those home runs, right? And there are times when you put yourself in an area that you can't do that you have to get going, you have to roll. And that's something that's been a hard lesson for me, especially when you're at home. It's easier to like, well, I ain't moving for this much mile. But when your bills start not getting paid, then that's a problem. And Jeff doesn't have that problem. So, but I have been trying to be, and the key to patience is less stress, right? So, Rick LP, what's up? How can you hate on the Snorlord? Oh, I've got haters, man. I'm nobody perfect. What's Fun of Time in YouTube Trucking? My favorite vlog, YouTube and Trucker Man. Thank you, Big Billy. Heated wipers in Michigan. Thomas Wilson, I believe that Jeff has done whole videos about that. Jeff could sell igloos to Eskimos. Adam Gallagher, you are correct. Right? I mean, they don't do welding certification here as far as like, I was OSHA certified to run a forklift, but I've never loaded a truck with one. All I did was move pallets around where I welded at when work was slow. You go to Whataburger drive-thru and tell them you want a senior coffee, and they'll give you a free coffee. Really? I don't know if my truck can fit through a Whataburger drive-thru, and they don't have them in Missouri. Jake Cannell paints paintings. Snorler paints Tauruses. It's official. I bet a worker's out of the race. Our guns are safe. There you go. Rick LP, our guns are always going to be safe. Always. Red River Bandit, could you weld a cradle for a spare tire that's mounted behind the sleeper? Yes. If I had the right specs, the right material, and the right tools, then yes, I could. Everblades.com, there you go. You can tap dance. Well, that's a question that comes up. It's like people are like, hey, Steve, you play guitar? Well, number one, because I'm not that great of a guitar player. And number two, to be a career musician, you got to have a lot of knowledge. You got to be able to read and write music. You got to, if a company hires you to go into the studio and come up with the jingle that they've written, you got to do it to that. And if you want to be a hired gun for a big name group, which I have friends that are doing that. I've got a friend in Japan right now touring with the signed metal band. And then I got another friend who's a total death metal guy, but he's a guitar player for a guy out of Nashville. And then there's another guy in Springfield that is a metal drummer, but he's actually the main drummer for the Osmond family there in Branson. So he's toured the world. These guys tour the world with these groups, right? I was never on that kind of skill level. I didn't have the resources. Back in the day, I would blame the fact I didn't have the right equipment, didn't have the money for the lessons, that kind of thing. But what I found with each of these individuals that have made it in music, they're very focused very determined individuals. And I was not that person. My 20s, I was not a very focused individual. The person you see right now is not the same person I was 20, 30 years ago. Even 5 years ago, I was a different person. And if I have any regrets, it's the fact that I didn't recognize that at that time. Because here I am, 47 years old, and I feel like I wasted 47 years, you know. I've gone through and told them to give me a senior discount, and I'm in my 40s, Spoovy. Says Spoovy. Snow alert code dispatcher at like T Trucking. Well, the whole problem with that is that I'd be out of a job pretty soon because we dispatch ourselves. And you know, we're not set up. I think Traveloco's set up like that where you can, you know, they have dispatchers find the loads for you, but we don't have that here. It's completely on you here. I mean, this is the closest thing to getting your own authority that there is. So counted at 7/12/20. Okay, Jeff, when they put odd numbers, that means they're done. That's what I'm learning. Especially if they're putting cents in there. That's the most you're going to get. Would you leave the spot market, or do you have any regrets on this path? Big Billy, no, I do not. No, I do not. Because when I hit upon hard times earlier this year, you know, don't think that the thought to go back to Schneider wasn't in my head. But I started to think about what came out here. It wasn't about money. It was about even more freedom than I had at Schneider. And I thought about the hours long videos, orientation I'd have to go through, the drive around the block test, the, you know, dealing with the 955 trailers, you know, that kind of stuff. And I really enjoy the spot market. I really do, because it makes me feel, well, like an independent driver. Now, Schneider is if you're doing mega carrier contract freight, Schneider is the absolute best possibility, in my opinion. Okay, you pick and choose what you want. You do the drive around the block test. Don't drive like an a-hole. Don't trip that collision mitigation all the time. And do your check calls, and don't leave the trailers in horrible condition, and don't drop a trailer like you know, without your landing or whatever, and you can do just fine. Is it more of a hassle to not have all the drop and hook? Yeah, but you know what? I have a right way on the trailer. I know exactly what this trailer is going to look like tomorrow, unless someone hits it or something like that. I know exactly where the brakes are at. I know exactly how good the tires are. And so that's a luxury that I pay for. And I have absolutely no regrets of coming to like trucking into the spot market. The only thing I regret is I did not take full advantage when I needed to. So there's your honesty. You want me to be honest? I'll be honest with you. I was not running good. I was not running enough. And I needed to fix that. And I think I have, but should have had that little memo to myself when rates were good. You know, now rates aren't that awesome, you know. You have a few spikes here and there. My rate per mile, Jeff, you can probably answer this. My rate per mile on loaded miles is probably through the roof this week. I could be like Otto in The Simpsons. I love it. I'm putting numbers up, but I will just say that this week was 475 loaded miles. There you go. Yeah, that's true. The whole I've got a friend of mine that's a welder for Boeing out in California, and they have to X-ray everything he welds, and he makes excellent money. Yeah, I'm a SoundCloud rapper. Yeah, that's the most dangerous welding, though, Spoopy. Does your company have mentors? It depends on how you look at it. You know, if you're new to the spot market game, this whole big parking lot, and this dude's probably going to park next to me and idle that dumb truck. Jeff and I have talked about a plan where we would have mentors to help with people that might be struggling adjusting to the spot market, because there's a little bit of a struggle in adjust. Well, let me rephrase that. There's a little bit of adjustment if you're used to, especially if you've come from a dispatch, because dispatch yourself is not as easy as you guys might think. That's a fact. Do you feel more financially? Do you feel more secure financially there at Schneider versus spot market? It's about the same, Joe, because mega carriers lose contracts all the time. One of my go-to loads in Springfield for Schneider was pallets, and Schneider had just gotten that contract from Swift, and then the company drivers that they were putting in there kept screwing it up. In fact, I had to have a conversation with the main shipping clerk there, and it was weird. He treated me different than the other Schneider drivers that went in there, both IC. I had a friend that was an IC. I told him, I said, when you go in there, tell him you know me. And he treated him completely different because I gave good service, right? And that's probably the bummer thing about that, is that you could be one of Schneider's top service drivers, you know, but the contract is in the hands of people you will never meet, right? And that bothers me. So, you know, whereas like that kind of happens in the spot market too. There was steady loads I got out of Springfield with a brokerage that lost the account. But as soon as they got it back, they were emailing me, hey, we've got these loads back, you know. But they weren't paying very well. Obviously, they got the contract back because they had to underbid the other carrier or the other brokerage, right? And so, but I can, you know, at Schneider, I wouldn't be able to negotiate direct freight. I wouldn't be able to negotiate a power only thing that works specifically for me, right? So there's more opportunity by having my driver. Now, as far as financial security, hear me out. There is no such thing as financial security. Doesn't exist. I don't care if you're a truck driver, a cook, a factory worker. Financial security does not exist. I'll argue all day about that. So, there's that. So do I regret my decision to come to the spot market? Absolutely not. Now, would I do it for any other company? Probably not. I've got a few phone calls that I can make if the need ever arose, but so far I'm okay here at Like Trucking. I think Jeff's happy with me. And, you know, and going to another company would be kind of a lateral move. I think that if I ever wanted to go beyond the light trucking landscape, it would be to get my own authority. A driver once told me that if you take time off and make $75,000 instead of running hard and making $90K, are you really going to be any happier when you're retired? That's a good point, and I think that that's kind of the approach that I use. However, I know people that will run their butts off and stay out months at a time, and then they'll stay home 2 or 3 months at once. There's a lot of guys at Landstar that do that. They literally park their truck November 1st and don't go back out until March 1st. But yet, they aren't home during the summer at all, you know. I just joined the market side. Yeah, Billy, I saw that. F to F, right? If you do the job and you have great service, people doesn't care what you cost within reason, right? Formerly known as William Brown. You just now got notification? Nothing, Winnie. That's probably why my numbers just increased. Detail, what's up? And you're right, South Georgia Indian rider. You guys and your long names, I swear. You can't take it with you, right? Now, I will say this. I have a very well-off friend of mine that said that money can, you know, people say, well, money can't buy happiness. He's like, well, I think it can answer almost all your problems. And so you have to find the fine line. I think the trick is to getting more money without selling your soul for it, without selling out your friends for it, without selling, you know, without taking advantage of people that can afford to be taken advantage of. I think that is the key. Because there are people with a lot of money that aren't happy, and there are people that don't have money that are very happy. So I'm trying for the middle ground, right? And sacrifices you make today can help you out tomorrow, right? And it's a learning. You know, I don't beat myself up for not running correctly in the beginning of my spot market time, because it's that struggle that has helped me learn that. You know, if you follow the laws of attraction, there's a term called reframing, right? And here's what reframing is. You take a negative situation and you turn it into a positive, right? If you go into a shipper and they're just absolutely horrible, then you be thankful for that experience, so you know not to go in there again. Or if you do go in there, you're going to get paid well to do it. That's what reframing is changing your perception about a negative thing that turns it into a positive, and that attracts more positivity. You guys want to know my secret? That's it. I've been incredibly good about reframing things. Well, let me take that back. I've been better about reframing things. I wouldn't use the term incredible, you know. Juan Avalos, what's up? I can't take you with me, but I can leave it for those I love. Right. And that's true, Big Billy. You know, we've been given, my family's been given an opportunity to be able to leave a legacy for our kids. You know, if you look at the old school days, what got passed down? Land, real estate. That's true wealth. You know, there are a lot of people that get their own authority with the intention of, well, my kids can do this and they'll acquire a business. Most people start a business so they can pass it down to their kids. Now, in the trucking world, sometimes that can mean sudden death, right? Because kids just see it as an open checkbook. Next thing you got an Aero Trucks incident, and people are going to jail and people are out of a job. And so, yeah, you can't take it with you, but you can make it a lot easier for your kids, right? You know. Am I working this weekend? Thomas Wilson, that's a loose word, but yes, I will not be at home. Life is what you make it, same as trucking. Exactly, Southbound Jay. Southbound Jay, I've never called him and think, man, he's in a bad mood. He's got the highest expenses out of all the like trucking contractors. But yet, you know what? I talk to him, he's never in a bad mood, he's never stressed out. You know, and he's enjoying life, and he's out more than the rest of us, I believe. He's out there enjoying it, man. He's doing well. You done great reframing when you got rid of that black Peterbilt you had. Old fat white guy. I wonder who you are. You must know me. Well, you know, but that's the thing. So I was grateful to have that Peterbilt, and I was grateful for what it put me through because it prepared me for what this truck might do, right? Now, I didn't learn enough with that Peterbilt. So, again, I'm driving a truck with no warranty. Will that take me out? Who knows, right? But a lot of people, see, that's the thing. When people get their first truck, it's not going to be your dream truck. You're not going to get that brand new, shiny W9, you know, right out the get-go for your first truck. You got to work your way up. Just like any other job, just like any other situation, you got to work your way up. Learn all the hard lessons with the 2009 Peterbilt 387. So when you get up to the 2020 W9, you know how to take care of it. You know how to get the right warranties. You know how to do what you need to do to be able to keep that truck. And so some people look, oh, my truck was a piece of crap, raw. But you know, but I looked at it like, wow, that truck taught me quite a few lessons. And one of the most important lessons you can learn as a truck driver, company or not, is that it's not easy. There's a reason why there's no retention rate. There's a reason why all the mega carriers are crying foul because they can't keep their drivers. Well, they're bad training practices, and the fact that this isn't the easiest job to begin with is what creates that retention problem, right? And it's that's what reframing is. It's take a negative situation. Like, for example, here's another example. So when I was heading into the shipper, they gave me a door, and I was trying to hurry up and get there, and I stopped, and this guy comes out, pulls out right in front of me, and just stops. And he's looking right at me, and I'm just like, I did this number, right? Of course, you don't always got the CB on. And he just did this, right? Like, how dare you bother me? That's the vibe I got, right? I open my window and I can hear him racing his engine. Obviously, he was having to build air, and so that's why he was like, hold on. And so therefore, I wasn't mad about it anymore. It's like, oh, okay, I understand now. And reframing is the ability to do that before that even happens. Oh, maybe this guy's having a bad day. Maybe he just doesn't know any better. You know, maybe I can educate that person to not pull out in front of a truck, you know? And so the next guy doesn't have to deal with that. You know, that's how you have to look at life in general, you know? If you're at the grocery store and someone's being a total A, maybe they just found out somebody close to them died or had cancer, or they're dealing with things at home that you wouldn't even begin to know about, um, and so and does it change the situation? No, but it changes how you look at the situation. And guess what's spared? Your happiness. If you just chalk it up to, oh, it's human nature, people are rotten, and just pass over it, then, there's a reason why the term happy-go-lucky exists. Because if you don't let these little tiny things get to you, life becomes a lot easier. Trucking becomes a lot easier. That's the beauty of that. If you get annoyed with every four-wheeler that flips you off or cuts you off, you're going to be a very stressed out person at the end of your 10-hour shift, right? And I always told people, I said, I look at four-wheelers as children. Some are good. In driver's ed, they spend a whole day on railroad, but they barely spend anything on what it's like to be around the truck. And it shows, and so, some areas people are more aggressive, and when everybody else is stressed out, that's where they get the aggression. That's where you get road rage. That's where you get people cutting you off. And if you don't subscribe to that, if you don't want to be a part of that, then you kind of shelter yourself from that. So had you rather have 100 acres in Montana or 1 acre in Missouri? I would rather have 10 acres in Missouri. Look, that's a nice W9. See if you guys can see that. Bull hauler. I've been to Montana. Extremely beautiful, right? And I love Arizona. I love Arizona. However, I am pretty happy living in the Ozarks. I really am. Hit the thumbs up, says Spooby. Trucking chooses you. To a certain degree, I think that's true. I mean, I remember wanting to be a truck driver since I was 5 years old. And I think that the only thing that would take me out of trucking, besides my health or something happening at home, is that the spirit of trucking is so tainted with corporatism and bad business practices where it takes all the fun out of it. And there's a lot of old school guys that will tell you that already happened. And I was around the trucking industry back in the 80s, so I've seen both sides. And it's true, because my dad did everything in his power to make sure I didn't become a truck driver, because he knew it was a hard life. And I can look back and I used to say I'd be at a different point in my career had he let me become a truck driver when I wanted to. But by not being a truck driver, I was able to find a good woman and to create a family that makes it worth driving a truck for. In other words, if I was out here with no real buddy to look forward to going home to, I don't know. I think depression would be a bigger deal. Kind of aimless, We're getting in a lot of trouble. Are those Iron Maiden bed sheets? No, that's not. That's my tapestry. If you choose trucking sinks its teeth in you. That's right, Big Bill. I think in my opinion, to become a true successful truck driver, both company or owner op, I think that you have to have a certain passion for it. And if you're one of these guys that did something completely different, and you enter this field because you thought it would make you good money, I think that you have to look, like James Best is a perfect example. He loves the driving, he loves the travel, he loves the everyday being different. And so that's where the passion is, right? So that makes the job a lot more tolerable. And then a lot of it's environment. If you're if 90% of your trucking is through the mountains of Montana in the summer, you're gonna love trucking, right? If 90% of your driving is in the Bronx, you might have a different view, but there are people that thrive in in both those areas. And I think it just depends on where your head's at, and if you're like driving's kind of secondary, but I'm a numbers guy, well then you're a perfect candidate for being an owner op, because then now you're looking at things from a mathematical catch you on something that because your passion is in the numbers and trying to get them up. So you can't even get a condo here in California for 250,000. Well, little Viking coach, did you know that you can get about 5 acres of land in Missouri for less than 20,000? I left Cali 4 years ago. Best decision I've ever made, says John Armstrong. I drove entertainment for 16 years. Back in 2017, I had my leg amputated. I missed driving. Ralph Lowe, I'm sorry to hear that. I saw a mobile home, big shop with lift in Kentucky, 174,000. I get to go to, I got to get to Kentucky and look around. How many more years do you got in you? 5, 10, or 15? That's a good question, Red River, because when I was looking at buying a brand new truck, it's perception, right? I was very nervous about having a 5-year note, because that meant I'd be 50 when I paid off the truck, and that scared the crap out of me. So I got a 4-year note instead. So I'll be 49 when this thing's paid off. Or if I refinance, then I'll be even older when this one's paid off, right? I would like to be done, or at least in a lower capacity in the next 5 years, because the kids are almost all grown. And to see my wife deal with the empty nest by herself, I really don't. And who knows? We might turn around and I might bring her out here with me. Who knows? It just depends what the industry's doing and what my other investments can do. If I can make killer investments and not have to drive a truck, I probably would get out of the truck. Um, I'm fairly happy out here, but only because I can control what I do out here. If it's a dispatch driver that had to do 600 miles in the middle of the night all the time, and you didn't know what you were going to do from one day to the next, I definitely wouldn't have at least another year out of that. So it just depends. And I think that's the key. The more successful you are at trucking, the better this job is. That's a given. If you're making 28 cents a mile and you don't control and you never get home and you don't have control of your life, it's hard to be positive. It's hard to reframe that this is a wonderful experience, right? So each circumstance is different, but myself personally, let's just say that I have no intentions of buying a new truck anytime soon. Book the snow alert, look out, go in the PA. Did you get it for the rate you wanted, or did you settle with that odd number? I just bought 28 acres for 90K. There you go, Big Billy. That is Jeff. Spectre, what's up? No, Red River Bandit, my wife has never been in the truck with me. I took her across town one time. That was it. She is such a busy person that to coordinate a time that she'd go out in the truck with me would be difficult. It might be a little bit easier now, because their kids are older and they can survive by themselves. However, she just doesn't have the time, you know. And the first time that we got to sit all day because of an 8-hour load time, I think that would drive her nuts. But, you know, if we were like, this was our retirement, which I know people do, you know, she might enjoy that because she would see parts of the country that she's never seen. What's that green thing? What green thing? It's a truck. Will your beard be gone in 5 years? It'll probably be down to my knees. I like the freedom to go where I want, when I want. I also have the privilege of doing this with my bride. There you go, over text. I'd love to leave Cali, but it's all my family knows. They don't ever want to leave. You know, I've if you take politics and overpopulation out of California, it's actually a pretty beautiful place. And a lot of people don't realize I was actually born in California, a California native. I'm playing catch up, had a phone call come in, but my first truck was 85 cab over Freightliner with a trusty old 9-speed. Nice, South Georgia. Team Tiny, you got that right. Politicians have ruined California, been here 50 years. Right. There was a time where I wanted to move to California. I really liked the surfer kind of beach bum lifestyle. And a lot of the things I was into as an early teenager was, you know, like the BMX freestyle and skateboarding, all that kind of stuff, was very prominent in California is where all that was at that time. And I actually wanted to move there. And my dad we almost moved to California. But he decided on Missouri because he wanted to get back to 15, stuff like that. And I despised Missouri when I moved here. Absolutely despised it. You know, here I was, this big city kid stuck in a small town kind of thing, you know, and I had this attitude. And a roommate and I decided, you know, is my first band. We decided that we were going to move out to Phoenix. And so we had made plans, and he literally had the car loaded up, and I bailed out the last second. Why? Because at 20 years old, I had my first kid, right? And at that time, I couldn't even see the kid because the mom had took off, and I didn't even know where she was. So I had this hope that could happen, that I'll be able to see the kid. And of course, years later, I ended up getting custody of that kid. So I bailed on him, and I think he resents me for that because he never talks to me. But he went ahead and just moved back to his homeland in San Jose. He didn't do Phoenix. You know, the reason why I didn't do Phoenix is because I have family out there, and still do. And I would drive out there all the time if it wasn't for the rates coming out of there. Three on the tree. Yeah, that's crazy. Gotta go. Call you tomorrow while driving home. Okay. The odd number. Okay, Jeff. That seems to be the MO with that one. I would like to do what Heather and Jason Crafty do. If I could talk my wife into it. I think expediting with a 120-inch custom sleeper would be an incredible way to spend my 50s and early 60s. I agree with you, Red River. That would be probably pretty cool. I know a couple of couples that do that. That was kind of common in the Landstar world, you know, and I think that if I had to do that, I would do the big sleeper, or I'd get a Volvo 860 or whatever it's called, the big one, because, you know, Provost's truck is really nice and it's perfect for a couple. It's perfect for a couple. And it'll pick up. Okay, I already read that. San Jose minimum of $1 million to buy a home. Yeah, and I think what he did, he had family You know, but that's the other thing. The cost of living in California is crazy high. I mean, you got people that are living in parking lots and living in their boats off the bay in San Francisco because they can't afford rent. You know, so what's happening in California, especially, well, I mean, except for the very extreme north, is that you're getting that the middle class is completely wiped out. You're either homeless in a parking lot in your RV, or you're living in $1 million mansion. You know, there's no in between. And the EPA regulations and the business regulations that they put on people are just driving businesses out, so that takes away jobs. So they got to charge more tax. It's a mess. It's a mess that's never going to be solved. You going to Phoenix this weekend, Spoobie? Good luck getting out there. Oh, okay. Going to IC orientation for Big Orange in Phoenix. Awesome. Congratulations. They've got people making $90K a year living in RVs on the side of the road in San Jose. That's crazy, Team Tiny. And I guarantee you that if you take $90,000 and you live in Missouri with that, you're going to live pretty high on the hog. So what does that tell you? If you can't even afford to rent a home, $90,000 a year income, but in Missouri you can live in a pretty substantial neighborhood at $90,000 a year. What does that tell you? Where would you want to move? By the way, no one knew to move Missouri. I don't want my state overcrowded. So, that's why I've grown to love the Ozarks. And I'll tell you what, I love Northwest Arkansas too. When you're going up and down I-49 between I-40 and Fayetteville, you know, and basically I-44, that is my favorite stretch of road besides the desert in Arizona. Especially in the fall. This time of year, Branson, really nice. Fall, foliage, you know, that kind of thing. I know that's kind of weird hearing that from a metalhead, but I appreciate nature. You know, like this whole scenery out here. I mean, how can you not like this, you know? Wouldn't want to live on it, Red River? Yeah. You're all moving to Michigan? Yeah, good luck. I had a friend of mine that moved to the Upper Peninsula. He had to live up there for 3 years, and then he moved back. You know, as soon as he was out of that contract, he moved back down to Missouri. Nothing against Michigan. Michigan's beautiful. In the summer, I'm in Missouri. It is green. Yeah, the grass is still green over here. So, but the trees are almost bare. So there's that. Nevada is not green. Too dang cold. Keep the snow and ice up there for me. Would you or Southern both don't like that kind of stuff down here? We're too Southern. I don't know what you're trying to say. Mostly dirt. I did a load to Phoenix for the first time a few years ago. Since, you know, it was the first time I'd been there since we moved, right? And I forgot how brown it was. I forgot how brown the desert was. It seemed like as a kid I remembered more green. I don't know. But I do like the desert to a certain degree. So. I mean, come on. I mean, think. You know, let's get a little moment here, right? Hopefully, this won't screw up the signal. Don't be scared. Let's get out of the truck, shall we? Ugh. Look how peaceful it is out here. Look how wide open this truck stop is. This is how every truck stop should be. Not too many people, right? Yes, there's lots of parking here. And I knew that. That's why I chose this load, because this load delivers at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And I said, I was like, man, I'm going to get hit by a car. Truck is dirty. Dirty. Let's 3 points of contact. Don't want to fall down, break our ankle. Yeah, the first time I did the delivery here was actually for Schneider, I believe. No, it wasn't for Schneider. There's several Schneider ICs in this parking lot. I saw the truck stop. I was like, wow. So when I picked this load, I called my Schneider friend and said, did I remember correctly? There's literally a truck stop, like from a rock stroll from the customer, and he's like, yep. And he goes, I said, well, I have any problem finding parking at 4? He's like, you go in there at 2 in the morning and find parking. And this is a perfect example. It is kind of getting chilly though. I see 3 behind you. Yeah, there's 1, 2, and there's 1 over here. There's 3, and what you're seeing in the mirror are drop trailers. All right, Juan, you be safe too. Michigan only nice for maybe 4 months, right? And see, and that's the thing. When you're a BMX freestyler, you hated weather, you hated snow, you hated rain because you couldn't ride. And that's all I was, man. I was an avid BMXer, man. I always had to be riding. Always, always, always. And so states like that had snow and rain and all that didn't interest me at all. I wanted sun. I wanted surf, I wanted beaches and pools and all that kind of stuff. But now that I'm older, don't like people as much, I'm just fine with a house all to me and my family out in the woods. Going back to Schneider for a bit. But that's what's out of the video. It's a little moment. This is a good moment for me. There was there's a few customers I like going to because it's quiet. They let you spend the night there. There's a customer in Henderson, Kentucky that I love going to because absolutely no traffic coming in and out. There's no interstate nearby. Really nice. And then that place with the chupacabras, that's a nice quiet place. There in Ohio. Then now this place. I had this place the list of loads that I will always try to get if they come up on the board. And they're not too bad at unloading here. I'm here a couple of times. Yeah, get my driving legs back after cancer. John, you got to go back to my old videos. Look up Snorlord Chupacabra, and you'll know what I'm talking about. I guess that is a weird sentence. Yeah, the place with the chupacabras is pretty nice and peaceful. I guess that was kind of an interesting statement, right? Oh. I'll turn the lights off so I'm going to burn out the battery. I'm not looking forward to winter. My heater's not working correctly in the APU. California is burning down at the moment, right? And it's sad. It really is. I don't remember hearing about forest fires all the time when I was a kid. You guys got any other comments, questions, or concerns? If not, we'll end this live feed. Pale Rider is still planning on going live tonight. And here lately, Blackbeard's been doing a pre-Pale Rider show. But I was bored. I finished dinner and thought I'd go live. Wife's working, so I'm not talking to her on the phone. And it's Friday, so most people I know are home. Yeah, I bet. Little Bike Coach was talking about that last night in my live feed. Which, by the way, you guys, anybody who wonders why I pulled my live feed from last night off, if I go back and watch it and it's real choppy, I won't leave it up. And I know that sometimes, like right now, but if I go back tomorrow and listen to this, then I'm gonna be like, and it kept breaking up, I won't keep it up. So. My live videos are very relaxing. Some people may even call them boring. The fires are worse now because more houses being built on hillsides. Yeah, that's the overpopulation, right, LVC? More people means more homes. Did you guys hear about the guy from Kansas City that went and started a bunch of them fires? They arrested him. So, you have to wonder how often that's happened. People just want to see California burn. I mean, the business and politics of California has just created this maelstrom of hate, even with truck drivers. Like, I have no intentions of buying skirts to put on my trailer to go down to California. I really don't. And because I want to even be a big part of that. And look at what the mega carriers are going through now with that AB5 thing. I mean, it's like they're pricing themselves out of business, and yet they're wondering why they broke. When I got my first Class B CDL, I actually had to contact California to get my birth certificate. And it took months to get it because they're understaffed, underpaid. It's like an act of Congress just trying to get a simple document mailed to me. And add all the EPA stuff, and I bet you there's no money to take care of the fires or the the fire prevention techniques, like trimming down parts of the forest and stuff like that. Here's the ironic thing. The fires from the smoke from all those fires are probably anything worse than what trucks have done in the last 20 years, right? Do I run Canada? No. P&G just announced planned shutdowns to combat fire hazards have turned out the lights in a total of 7 days in October. It's almost apocalyptic. Wow. That's crazy. All it takes is a lightning strike, falling power line from wind, or an idiot tossing a cigarette. Yeah. That's a fragile existence, man. That really is. Well, I imagine eventually that's going to happen. I imagine that, we're going to know this is the great Los Angeles destruction, that kind of thing. I live in South SoCal, close to the fires. Wow. Life of a trucker, everyone is at home but us, right? I almost was home. I found the load that picks up tomorrow, or no, Sunday, sorry. And had I not found that, I would have just went home. That's the beauty of where I live. So I didn't like any of the long haul rates that were coming up. So I thought, well, if I deliver close on Saturday and I can't find anything, I can just go home. And as it stands, this load here will put me right at my weekly goal. Barely, right? It's like rate per mile has been great. Rate per day has been, so. Fires are a part of nature. Things are supposed to burn. Right? The circle of life, Lion King thing, right? I live in Santa Cruz. They've got a ban on plastic straws and grocery bags, but a free needle program that hands out 6,000 needles a month. Crazy politics in the state. Right. And I saw a photograph in this park or something where there was literally like someone took 100 needles and just littered the ground with them, right? And that's the crazy thing is like, I don't know, I don't understand that. And the only explanation is corporate greed. You can make money off of banning straws and allowing needles for drug addicts. Keep them happy, keep the people happy by letting them think they get stuff for free. Keep them happy with the drugs. Keep them happy with the food. And that way, they don't realize how bad they got it when they're on dialysis machines or, if they OD, oh well. We made the money off the medicine to keep them from ODing. We made money on the medicine that we sold them, and made money off the needles and made money off the rehab. And that's the sad state of our country right now. Because there are places where drugs are legal, yet they don't have nearly the crime that we do, or the ODs that we do. America is a bitter, angry place right now, and unfortunately, I don't see it getting any better. But with that being said, you can't lose hope. You can't forget, like what Ratman said earlier about adding up all the little moments, right? And so if you do one good deed a day, no matter how small it is, you're just adding to that. You're adding to those little moments that add up to something. And maybe, just maybe, if anything, that will keep hope alive. And that's the most important thing. If you lose hope, if you lose faith, you're done. You're absolutely done. And someone is not lost. Because the truck driving has taught me a lot of things about people and about myself. And I think my next venture is I want to be a bartender. Whole time with this. What do you recommend? How do you think I should deal with this? I want to be that guy. That's what I want to be. So what would my life be after trucking? Doing some good in some capacity, like a social worker to help kids out, or some kind of positive. That way, all hope is not lost, and we can keep on going. That's all I got to say. Beaches now are needle trap. That's sad because a beach can be a very beautiful place. John, you fail a lot too, but here's the thing, man. It's through failure that you become stronger. Show me a person who's never failed. I'll show you a weak person. I just warmed up the toilet seat for the next guy. That's one nice thing. There you go. There you go, LBC. See, that's reframing, right? All right. This live feed has gone long enough. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you love negativity and drama and want to see me die, hit the thumbs down. Interact with the video, interact with the ads, pay me lots of money, that kind of thing. Trying to find a job hauling sailboat fuel for $3 a mile. Good luck. Good luck. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Pale Rider will be live tonight at 8 o'clock Central. And so make sure you got notifications on his channel. And I probably shouldn't go live as much as I do. So, what did Jeff say there? Taco? Is that a taco? Yep, Jeff's eating the taco. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And don't give up hope. There's still hope out there, right? So if you're feeling down, I think I'm going to start doing videos about depression because I deal with it, and I've dealt with it in the past, and I still deal with it. So maybe that's the next thing I'm going to tackle. You know, I talked to a person about health today, and I think we're going to get him on the right track. And so let's talk about mental health, because face it, this job can suck sometimes. We deal with a lot of stuff at home. You know, we deal with, you know, trucking's a pretty huge cause of divorce. You know, it's in those things. So, anyways, guys, take it easy. Thanks for watching. And take the small moment and enjoy it. All right? See ya.